There's two things in this recipe that you really care about, and that is saving money and saving time. Today, we're making a high-protein chicken burrito bowl. There's some really nice pan-seared chicken, coriander lime rice, a little bit of salsa, charred corn, and some black beans. And did I mention that this recipe is only $4 per serving? Now, one of the things I like most about this recipe is there isn't many ingredients to it. We're going to start with the brown rice. Add 350 grams of washed brown rice to a saucepan, 700 milliliters of cold water, and a pinch of salt. Place it over a high heat and bring it to a boil. Reduce the heat to low, cover, and cook for 22 minutes. If you're not a fan of coriander or cilantro, you don't have to use it, but I'm using 5 grams of it and then just roughly chopping. This is going to go in our rice at the end, and we can also use it as a garnish. Along with that, we're going to need 3 cloves of garlic that can be crushed with a knife and roughly chopped. You can grate them, but they will burn a lot quicker rather than chopping them up like so. The chicken is 1 kilo or 2.2 pounds of boneless and skinless chicken thigh. Along with that is 1 tablespoon of olive oil. This is an Evo and it's very mild in flavor. Add in the chopped garlic and 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika and 1 teaspoon of ground cumin, and then season with salt and cracked black pepper. 20 cracks worth. Use clean hands, gloves, or a spoon. Mix all of that through, make sure all of those spices are completely covering the chicken, and then set this aside for the time being and drain 1 can of corn kernels through a strainer, and then just slightly rinse it with a little bit of water, and then place it into a pan. You can use fresh corn if it's in season wherever you live. However, I use canned corn because it is a little bit cheaper and it's less of a hassle. Place this over a medium-high heat, add in a touch of salt, and then pan fry for about 2 to 3 minutes or until you start seeing those nice golden kernels appear, and then drain 1 can of black beans, doing the exact same as we did with the corn, rinsing off any of that excess starch or that water. Add it into the pan with the corn, check it for seasoning, adjusting with salt and cracked black pepper, and then cook for a further 2 to 3 minutes or until it's nice and warm, slightly fried, and those corn pieces are nice and golden brown. And the good thing about these 2 ingredients is you don't have to even fry them if you don't want to. You can leave them cold and fresh, but trust me, it does taste a little bit better. Rice has been steaming away for about 22 minutes. Carefully remove the lid and just be careful of any steam. What you should have is this nice, soft, fluffy brown rice. You can, of course, do this with white rice if you prefer. Add in the coriander. You can save some for garnish if you choose to use it. And then slice off a little bit of lime, roughly a quarter, and squeeze in the juice. You can always adjust to your taste. If you like less, add less. And if you like more, add more. Mix it all around with a spatula or a fork until it's nice and soft and fluffy. And then set this aside until we're ready to serve. Now for the chicken, place a pan over a medium-high heat, add in a touch of spray oil, and then add in the chicken. If your pan is not large enough, I do recommend doing this in batches to avoid steaming the chicken. And we're going to sear this for about 10 minutes in total, or about 4 to 5 minutes on each side. And don't be afraid to flip it a few times to get that even color all over, and then remove it and rest for 5 minutes before slicing it into strips, leaving it whole, or you can dice it up. That choice is all yours. As for the containers, I'm using 5 750 milliliter Lovelli containers. I get a lot of questions about these and I have a link for them in the description. As you can see on screen, I've left the weights for each individual ingredient. I do always recommend you weigh it out yourself and then divide it by how many portions, and you could probably get a 6th portion out of this, but I pushed it with 5. These will last up to 4 days in the fridge. Just let them cool down for about 15 to 20 minutes before placing them in, and 3 months in the freezer, letting them defrost the night before you try to reheat. As for the macros, this is all for an individual portion, and the remaining nutrition information as well as the full written recipe is in the link in the description. So we've all said and done, there's one thing left to do, and that is we can then dig it. That right there is everything you want from a meal prep. It's nutritious, it's easy to make and tastes fantastic, and best of all, it's going to save you a hell of a lot of money by doing this. It only works out to be about $4 a portion. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more, please do hit that subscribe button, leave a like and leave a comment. And if you do click that subscribe button, please hit the bell notification next to it so you never miss when I upload. Thanks for watching.